All right, everyone. It must be Friday because it's another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easiway.
And welcome to the little show that could.
Yep.
We're so glad you're here. And let me tell you, Cindy King logged in like 3 hours ago. What?
Unreal. It was like 15 minutes ago. So Cindy,
Yeah, okay, 15 minutes ago. But anyway, we're glad that people are so excited that they got to jump in before we even get started. So that's great. That's great. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this as a recording, hey, thank you. Thanks a lot. Please, though, say hello and drop a little message so we know that you're there. We love to see those breadcrumbs. Okay.
Absolutely.
Also, as usual, I want to go over that. This is a Q&A show. We have some topics to talk about today, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing that we should be discussing. So if you've got some challenges or you need some advice on something, that's the reason why we're here, right? We might not have the answer you want, but we've got something for you. Okay. So,
or between us, we know someone that does.
Yeah. So please drop that in the comments. We would love to chat about it. Right.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so Alan, you last week, Richard sat in for you. You were in Florida doing some.
Richard didn't. Mark Soldonic did.
Mark Soldonic said, sorry, like my brain's mush, right? Richard sat in for me on Tuesday. That's what I was confused about, right?
Right.
And so anyway, you were down in Florida doing some family stuff, and it's good to see you again, and it's good to, and we're going to talk about that later in the show about the importance of personal stuff, right? But and so you've been back in your groove this week a little bit. And I was traveling this week. I was in Flagstaff moving my son Jack into his dorm room for his sophomore year of college at Northern Arizona University. And so excited for him. I remember back when I was in college, right? It brought back a lot of memories and how much fun it was. And how lame I am now.
I am. So I'm learning that even more, as you know. So people don't know. I now, I have no kids and stuff, but my 15-year-old nephew is living with me now,
right?
For a while. So I'm realizing how uncool and how old I am.
Yeah, right.
But and you guys know Miguel. He's been on here under the name Puff Carrot. We've talked to him before. He's changed his YouTube name since then, but yeah. So it's been cool, and I'm not cool though.
Yeah,
and I don't even try to be anymore.
Yeah, well, anybody with gray hair is not cool.
Yeah,
so, by default. So, all right. So we want to say hello to some folks, and here she is, Cindy, first one in. She wins the prize today.
Yep.
What does she get, Alan?
She gets our everlasting gratitude. Not put a price on it. We've tried.
All right. And Scott's here. Hey guys.
Hey Scott, how you doing?
Yeah, it's let's have hit here in Florida. I guess he means it's really hot. Right?
Yeah, I think the next one says
it's hot. Yeah. So Scott saw the Mid-Journey post I did today. I was playing around with some new prompts, and I just used motorcycles as the subject, and he really liked it. And let me tell you, I am having so much fun learning Mid-Journey, right? And it's like an obsession. And it keeps getting better. And they've got this new in painting tool. I haven't played with that yet, but that's going to be my afternoon, is goofing around with that. So anyway, excited for that. Charles is here. Hey, happy everyone Friday. Frank's here. Good to see you, Frank. Frank's with S&S, big S&F fan here. And Brian's here. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
And Ghost is here.
Ghost all the way from Uppsala.
Yeah, that's right.
Ghost, how you doing?
Yeah, it's good seeing you. Hope you're doing well. So anyway, we've got a big treat for you guys, which is we have, guess what, a new GSG promo video, never seen before. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Well, hold on. Before we go there, tell me, I haven't got to watch the show last week yet. So how did it go, Marshall? Everybody, how did Mark do? I thought it was great because he just came from M&R and what's new.
It was a complete disaster. No, just kidding. It was so much fun. Mark always brings the heat. It was fantastic. You know, I always like talking to that guy because he knows so much, right? But it was really fun to hear about all the new equipment that's coming out, you know, and M&R's got a new DTF printer that they're going to show at the Fort Worth show. And so this is going to be a really cool thing, I think. And Mark was raving about it. So I can't wait to see that, right? And you look astonished.
I am. I mean, a new DTF. And no, I'm thinking about something. I'm sorry. I hear my nephew leaving for work and stuff. I'm watching.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know how that is. So.
Back to reality. All right. So,
am I acting like a brand new parent?
It's terrible. Yeah, you are. Yeah, right. So, anyway,
no, I mean the fact that they have a new DTF printer, I think is cool. I know they had that big event. That's why I thought Mark would be a great host on it. I just need to go watch the show.
Yeah,
so I can be up to date.
You could be just like everybody else who's doing something while we're talking, because we want you to be making that money and doing stuff, but we'd like you to watch the show too. So
absolutely,
you know, get in there and do that, right? So anyway, we want to roll the new commercial. This is brand new. Huge shout out to Daniel with GSG. The guy's like super talented, and here is the new video. So thank you, GSG, for sponsoring us. We appreciate you. See ya.
Over the last 70 years, GSG has seen many changes in the apparel decorating industry. But one thing that hasn't changed is our dedication to helping our customers discover what's next. As we continue to lead the industry, GSG is here to support your business with industry experts. The latest innovative products, training services, and by delivering the perfect order.
Well, that was great. So
it is. What a great company. And, you know, I love their training services. I was actually just talking to a client yesterday about that. I got to get them in touch with them. And, you know, you and I are all about the education. So, you know, how much do we love that? I did notice that. Mark rocking the man bun. No comment on that. So, absolutely.
And Mark's here also. So,
I don't know if it's because I don't like man buns or I'm just jealous I don't have that much hair anymore.
I don't talk about I'm follically challenged. So we don't talk about that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, do you see the light on my top of my head? If I had hair, you wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
That's why you wear a hat. We all know.
I do now. Oh yeah. It's like less and less all the time. It's more, I wash my hair with a washcloth, you know.
So Dan's here. Hey, me too. I'm here
from Alabama.
Yeah. So good seeing you. All right. Hey, let's kick the show off. We got our first topic, and it's going to be something I'm really passionate about, which is your favorite books.
Absolutely.
Right? And we would love to know right now what's your favorite book, and what's your favorite book, and maybe what's your favorite book that you read this year, and just put a little bullet point or a 2-word comment about why, right? And by the way, I have a blog article coming out tomorrow with my top 10 list for the favorite books. These are the books I recommend constantly. I'm always giving people, hey, you should read this book, and here's why. And I've got a little blog article about it. And I'll be completely honest, I'm selfish about this, is because I'm always saying you should read this book. Now I've got a blog article and I can just send people the link. And I don't have to look up the book on Amazon anymore because I'm always referring the same books. So right. I think this is going to be, it's a lazy thing for me, right? So, but let's talk about your favorite books. And so, Alan, what is your favorite book? And then I'll get into mine, and then we can talk about everybody else's, because we want you to throw that in there. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book of all time for business is Five Dysfunctions of a Team. I've talked about it before. Of course, this morning I was having a senior moment. We're talking about this, and like, I couldn't remember the name. I couldn't remember the author. Marshall's read it too. This came out in what, the 90s?
It's been out a while.
But it is just incredible. It's called Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick. I don't even know how to spell it. Lencioni, Lencioni, and all that. He has a couple of them. But this was a game changer for me, not just in business, but dealing with people, because he talks about constructive conflict and then destructive conflict. And, you know, to me, all conflict was bad. And he goes through, you know, on this book, it's almost like he has this new team, and it's kind of fictional, but not, but it, you know, it's going, here's your high producer, here's this person. And the people I'm picking going, no, I'd keep him, going, no, he's the cancer. And here's why. It was an incredible book. When I was in the ministry, I actually had a team that I was leading read it about dealing with people. And you know what? I need to reread it again. It's just an incredible book. That's my first one.
Good. I love it. I love it. So my choice, to no surprise, is going to be Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, right? And
author, yeah.
Ex-Navy SEAL commander, super badass, right? And it has my favorite quote of all time for business, which is, it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. The reason why I like this book is because, and the reason why I give it away, I bought it for people, I've sent it to people, I recommend it all the time, is because there's a lot of instances where so-and-so was the press operator on press 2, and now he's the production manager, or so-and-so's now the sales manager. And you were really good at whatever you were doing, but now you've got to lead a group of people. And leading people is a completely different skill set than actually doing whatever the job was that you had, right? And for a lot of companies, they get pushed into the deep end of the pool. They really don't know how to swim yet. They kind of dog paddle around. And the reason why I think this book is so impactful is because you as a leader have to realize that you are responsible for the outcome. You own the victory, you own the defeat. There is finger pointing. So if your team is failing, it's because you failed to prepare them. It's your fault. If somebody constantly talks on their cell phone all the time, it's your fault. If you've got people that are late to work, it's not their fault. It's your fault. And it's because that you're tolerating that behavior. So how you deal with these situations and these challenges, you know, you can be a complete jerk about it, or you can be a professional. You know, you can choose to however you want to do. It's the culture that you built. So if you think about how Navy SEALs operate, right? They are probably the most elite functioning team on the planet. I can't think of any other group, not just from, you know, the military part, but any other group that can outperform a Navy SEAL team. And why is that? And that's because they are all professionals, and they have a culture of excellence, and they about not letting the other person down and all that stuff, right? And so you think about, how does that translate to business? Imagine if your business, your shop, the team that you manage, the 3 people that look up to you, What if you operated with Navy SEAL team excellence? How much more could you do a day? Right. And so that's kind of the reason why I like that book, and I recommend it all the time. It's a fun book to read. He talks about Navy SEAL stuff in there, but it's kind of an interesting kind of a thing. Mine, is all dog-eared and underlined, and it's got post-it notes all over it, and I refer to it all the time. So anyway, that's my book.
You know what I love about Navy SEALs is just because when it comes to a team, they know what the other guy's thinking. They know what's going to do, no matter what scenario. I think we got a glimpse of that more when we saw the video of Osama bin Laden when they went and got that. That there was they make contingencies for what if.
Yeah, that
helicopter to crash.
Yeah,
and you know what? They didn't freak. It wasn't abort. It was like, let's move on. We have that, and they know the other guy has their back. They know someone else has their back, and they don't have to worry about what's going on around the corner because my buddy has that.
Yeah, right.
And doing that, and that is an incredible team right there.
Yeah.
But it is life and death. Where in ours we don't, but that's the best thing about it. So
yeah, so we got some comments here. So Ghosta says The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. Hey, I haven't read that one.
Me neither.
That's cool. Love that. Sean's here. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for calling us gentlemen. I guess you don't know us as well as you think you do. Daryl says, Healing the Shame That Binds You from John Bradshaw. That's good.
That's awesome.
That. Josh says good morning. Hurley says good morning.
How you doing, Chris?
Daryl says also he's currently reading Car Guys versus Bean Counters from Bob Lutz.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that sounds interesting. And, I know that Daryl does a lot of stuff with car clubs and stuff. So I'm sure that's him trying to gain some insight on his customers. So that's really cool. Ray's here. Greetings, Screenlings. I love to know what Ray's reading right now.
We got Mark Soldonic.
The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Yes, there you go.
That's what I said.
Another vote for your book there, pal.
Yep, that's one of my favorites. I have, so Marshall, let's go. I wrote down a couple of them of mine.
Yeah.
On there. My other one, and this is a business one, and I have one that's non-business. And I mentioned it to you a while ago, and you ordered and said, yeah, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. And there's 2 books with the same title, remember?
Yes.
It's called High Hanging Fruit.
High Hanging Fruit. And I read the wrong one.
Yeah. And so
it was still an excellent book. It was all about the guy developing his coconut water business, right? And but that wasn't the one you wanted me to read.
No, but I went and got that one, and I haven't read it. So, but it's High Hanging Fruit. The one I like is High Hanging Fruit by Tim Chermak, Chermak. He has a platform for the real estate market. And he says, real estate agents are doing things. They're still going off of, just the old school way of 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And he talks about going for high hanging fruit. He had some incredible insights in there to sales. It was an easy read. He talks about, the dangers of Excel a little bit.
Of Excel, like spreadsheet Excel?
Yeah. That, it tells you what's happened. It doesn't tell you what's going to happen.
Yes.
It gives you some patterns and stuff. And he calls it the bikini.
Why?
You know what? Because you know what it is? It's a guy for a very nice looking girl in a bikini. It doesn't really show you anything. That's only for the personal, independent, personal stuff. It lets you think you're seeing more than it really does.
Oh, okay.
Excel can do that. It's a great tool, but sometimes it gets relied on too much.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome.
I'm a pivot table Excel guy, right?
Yep.
And so to me, like an Excel spreadsheet, you build a graph, you can connect some dots and everything, but this should push you to investigate why.
Absolutely.
And more. And that's the reason why I like it. And you're right. It doesn't give you the answer. It poses the question, if that makes sense.
Hold on. Come on in.
So,
hey, just say hi, Miguel. We're live.
hey, Miguel.
You gotta bend down. They can't see you. This is my nephew, Miguel. So I'm going to put you on mute for a second. It must be important if he's coming in. So, Marshall,
okay, great. All right, so I'll keep talking. So I'm going to go and throw out here because I don't see Richard Greaves in the comments. 2 Second Lean. So just so we have that mentioned on our show, because I know that would make him happy. So we've got some comments here. Ray says, I'm proofreading a white paper I'm working on, as well as working on a blog about ink adhesion for Printing United. That's fantastic. Brian says 3 books, The E-Myth, Ultimate Sales Machine, and Fans First. Those are great. Thanks, Brian. Love the E-Myth. Love the Ultimate Sales Machine. I haven't read Fans First. Need to do, or maybe I have. Is that Jay Baer's, or is that Fans First is Pat Flynn's book? Is that Pat Flynn's book? Ray says Excel tells you what numbers you have, but doesn't explain how you got them. That's a good idea, right?
And everybody, I'm sorry about that. If you didn't hear at the beginning, my nephew is now living with me. So I have never had kids. So he was getting ready to go to work. There was something he needed to tell me. So
that's okay.
I apologize for that.
Those of us with kids appreciate that moment.
I've never had. I don't know how to handle that. So
look, the Peanut Gallery is here. River God by Wilbur Smith. Yes, we're talking business books. Tim, of course, throws in some fiction. If you haven't read Wilbur Smith, if you don't know who that is, you're in for a real treat if you start reading that guy. He's passed away, sadly, but his books are all about Africa, and they are my family's beach house reads. And we have them all, and they're highly discussed, and you cannot put them down once you start reading them. And River God is all about Egyptian pharaohs and this genius that's like a Leonardo da Vinci level guy who's helping one of the pharaohs with his kingdom. And he's a eunuch, by the way. And it's just, what a fantastic book. Anyway, thanks, Tim. Good seeing you here.
And I don't know what you guys are talking about. When I was talking to Miguel, I had you on mute, and you said something that caught his ear. He goes, what did he just say? I go, don't know. I said, wasn't listening. So
Brian says Jesse Cole about Savannah Bananas, which is called Put on Your Yellow Tux. Are you wear your yellow tux or something like that? I have it on my bookshelf right here. That's great.
I didn't know it was out there, but if you don't know about the Savannah Bananas, you need to look it up. What a cool thing. So
co-owned by Bill Murray.
Boom My Cheese,
Boom. That's great. I love that one. Yeah.
So
keep them coming. What are your favorite books and why? There's so many. And again, I've got a blog out coming tomorrow with my top 10. It was really hard for me to narrow it down to 10. And I'll let you in on a secret. I couldn't do it. I'm actually sharing 14.
Right.
But I think it's a kind of a fun thing, right?
And I don't know, like Marshall, I showed this. You've never heard of it. Go ahead. Brian has Fans First.
Is also Jesse Cole. That's right. Yeah, that's his mantra for his business.
Okay.
I saw Jesse Cole speak this year in Cleveland at an event I went to, and he was an amazing speaker. We actually tried to get him for Shirt Lab, but he was a little beyond our price range.
Oh wow!
But anyway, what are you showing?
Well, I'm reading. I'm going to start a new book. I told Marshall it's called "The Difference You Make" by Pat Williams. Pat Williams was the guy who owned and started the Orlando Magic. Pat's been, I know him through his daughter was in the Christian music industry and still is and all that. I've not met him and stuff, but he also has adopted, him and his wife, like over 19 kids, when they were younger, and raised them and stuff like that, of international and, special needs. So, he's just a guy that gives back. He talks about, the basketball part and about giving back to the community and just making a difference in people's lives. So I just found the book. I told Marshall, I said, I started it because earmarked and stuff, and I don't remember reading it, so I'm going to start it over.
Oh, good. I read a lot of books several times. Like there's a book called The Goal that I read every January. So it's great. So Tim also says How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win by Scott Adams. Tim's a big Scott Adams fan. That's the guy that created the Dilbert. And so
cool.
Tim is, if you can't tell, that's my younger brother.
Which you always say he's a goofball, an idiot, or whatever.
He is a goofball and idiot, but he's a highly intelligent, super successul attorney.
Exactly. But you say, "Oh, good, my idiot brother." Let me tell you, because
it's brotherly love.
Tell you what my idiot brother did.
I call him. He's got some names for me too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right. And Frank says, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur by Mike Michalowicz. Yes. I'm an audiobook guy while driving or flying. Yes. So Mike was just at Shirt Lab New Orleans, and what an amazing guy. Hung out with him, and it was really fun talking with him, and really good, really good. So seeing him. So
my other favorite, and I love that your brother put we always talk business books. It's okay to just be reading, something you like and fun. And I'm still like you. I still like holding a book. Yeah, I've done audiobooks while driving and stuff, and they're great. One of my favorite books, and it's old, it's out of print. You have to get it. It's called Ball 4, Ball and the FOUR. It's a baseball book. It was written by ex-New York Yankee Jim Bouton as he's going through his career's ending and doing it. It was pretty scandalous when it was written. I want to say in the early 70s, but you learned the behind the scenes of the Whitey Fords and Mickey Mantles and stuff. But it was just, his time, through it. And, just a good, if you're a baseball fan, read it. If you're a baseball fan, you may already know about it.
Yeah. So here's
Jim Bouton's also the guy that helped create Big League Chew.
Yeah. So here's my favorite book that I've read this year. Seth Godin, The Song of Significance.
Oh, cool.
It's not a very big book. As you can tell, it's kind of tiny, but it's amazing. Okay. Yeah. It's really amazing. And it's all about how the workplace has changed, how we work, the reasons we work. We need to be more significant in what we do. And your current and potential employees want to matter more in things. Mm-hmm. And so it's really interesting. And he uses a metaphor throughout the book about bees, bees and honey. And hives. And on the back here, one of the things he's talking about is making money, right? So it says the purpose of a beehive isn't to make honey. Honey is the byproduct of a healthy hive. And so what he goes into in the book is that what if your business isn't about making money? Making money is just a byproduct of doing well with your business. And so if you have structure your business where you're making a bigger impact, you're going to you could probably make money doing it, but you're delivering more, right? And so that's kind of a real interesting And Seth, by the way, is just fantastic writer. He blogs every day. And in fact, he has something, there's a lot of people on this, not a lot, but there's people on this planet, Beyonce, Cher, Jay-Z, like you can just know who they are by their first name. Yep. If you type into Google Seth, he comes up, right? He's at that level where you can just say Seth and people know who you're talking about, right? So,
how come when people with single names, we always go Beyonce, Cher? How about Sting?
Yeah, Sting. Well, that's his, that's actually his nickname, right? Oh, here you go.
That's what he goes by.
So Ghost is recommending Moving Past Disaster. Okay. By the way, who wrote that book? I did.
Alan Howe. Oh, yeah, exactly.
So thank you so much, Ghost, for recommending my book, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And that book, by the way, is all about reformulating your business and creating a brand new business plan. And then it's got steps to do a 2-year action plan to do it. And And thank you for reading. I know Brian Buffka read it and actually created a whole bunch of business plans out of it. And so thank you for that. And Sean says Control Without Confusion by Joe Clark. Classic.
You know what? It is a classic. And I saw that, Sean. Sean, did you read it or did you just get it? It's out of print. We know a guy if you want it. Richard Greaves has it. I'll send you the PDF.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Some stuff is out of date, but man, if you want to know 4-color process, how to be a better printer, it's a must read.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we've got other topics, and we need
This is a great topic. Why do we have other topics?
I don't know. But we got one. Internal competition, right? And so I think if you're trying to do stuff with a business, and if you're a solopreneur, this is kind of hard to do, but if you've got employees, I think having some internal competition, who can sell more, or who can print more, or who can, make less errors, or, whatever. I think this can really foster a really great sense of motivation and do some things within your business. And I know, and have some fun doing it, right? It's not about one up on the next guy. It's just about having a sense of pride and doing better and achieving more. And so I kind of wanted to throw that out there about, for you guys out there, do you do any internal contests? How do you create a sense of internal competition within your shop or within your business? And we'd love to know what you do, right? So what have you done like this over the years, Alan?
Well, the one that comes to mind on it, being in sales, I'm not a guy that I compete against my other reps that are, my counterparts and stuff. It's just a different area. It's on that. When you're in sales, a lot of times the competition, I'm creating them in my head to keep going. But when I worked, I left the industry for a little bit. I was working for my uncle, and we had teams, and we talked about a few weeks ago, the BHAG. Big hairy audacious goal. And we had a thing at Progressive Foam. If you want to, progressivefoam.org or .com, whatever, it's insulated siding. It's my uncle's company that he started. With a little shameless plug there. We had different teams. I was on a sales and a laminating team. There was a different cutting team and stuff of creating, we each had the BHAGs in our teams, and we were going on competitions. I forget what it was. It was a production or waste or whatever against the other teams. And it was hilarious because it pulled our team together and stuff. And we all had different shirts made. I kind of had a printer that printed them all. They loved it, at that point. But it was incredible for our team. I loved staying late because me and 2 other guys were like the heads of our team, and we were talking about where we were on the BHAG. Then in the morning, on it, where we'd go back and forth, and with the rest of our team, and where's everybody else at, and it just made for a great, company-wide focus on it.
That's good. And I love, I have some competition with myself sometimes, and
you have to.
Like you have some goals and you do some things.
Yep.
I was telling Alan before we started today, we started talking about our topics. I have a coaching client that's doing an internal competition, and it's all about sales and making the sales calls that they set as goals.
Right.
And so in this particular company, there's 2 guys, and they each set a sales goal for how many calls they're going to make each day. And that was their minimum. They can go over, right? But if they don't hit the minimum, for every sales call that's under, they have to do 10 push-ups in front of the other person, right? Oh, and so I thought that was just a really fun kind of way to motivate each other, because they don't want to do the push-ups, right? And so, any type of thing like that, I think really helps foster that, this is how, a sense of competition, a sense of let's get it done. It creates a really good culture. It just bonds you together. There's just a lot of things that you can do. And if you think about over the years, you hear all these stories about these legendary athletes, who, would stay late and do stuff, Mike Singletary running hills, or Michael Jordan doing free throws or whatever. And they would have people do things, and just that sense of competition would be great. Florida State, my team, right? Their coach, Mike Norvell, right? After each practice, he races the lineman in 100-yard sprint at every practice, right?
That's
awesome. Of course, they're college kids and athletes, and he's an older coach, but it's all about just developing that culture of fun and doing things and athleticism, and and that helps keep everything loose and stuff, right? So,
how would you like to face your teammates and go, hey, I lost to the coach?
Exactly.
There's no ribbing going on there. It.
Well, he's not racing the wide receivers and the running backs. He's racing,
the center,
the big boys. But it's about, hey, they want to beat the coach, and of course it's not a small sprint; it's a 100-yard sprint, right? And for these bigger guys, like that's I was a lineman. That's a long way.
Absolutely.
It's good to 10, 20 yards. That's as far as we want to be sprinting.
Oh, exactly. Right? Yeah. I don't even know if my legs sprint anymore. I'm just walking.
Yeah.
I just take longer strides.
All right. So, hey, it's time. Let's talk about our sponsor. I have a little commercial here. So go gsg.com, where you can find all the latest supplies and equipment and everything. And Alan has a surprise today. Alan, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, our dealer. So this is an Easiway blue water machine. It's called the HP1 high pressure wash. Everybody knows there's auto reclaims and stuff, but what about if you're going, I don't need to spend $90,000 or $86,000 on an auto reclaim? I'm not doing that much yet. What is there? Well, there is a semi-automatic one called the HP1. It is going to be in Fort Worth at the ISS show. I won't be there. Marshall will be there. Mark Sildonic will be there. Easyway's booth is right across from GSG. There's going to be a Blue Water there and the HP1. Make sure you go see it. Find Mark Sildonic, make him take you over and give you the go-through.
And you can buy it from GSG.
You can buy it from GSG.
Right. Okay. Well, let's you've got some footage.
Here we go. Whoops, it's not going.
Hit the start button.
I'm trying to.
Hey, we don't know what we're doing here.
Usually Marshall handles the controls.
I like the rotating sprayer.
Yeah. I like we can talk during this too. So the one sprayer is a little wobbly. This was the first one made. It's up in Minnesota. It's 3 T's. Alex is loving it. And that sprayer is stabilized now.
So how long is, so it's like 30 seconds and it's clean.
It's been cut down. You usually want to go about a minute and a half around there, about 90 seconds on it. And
so that looks like a smaller frame. Is that a normal size frame?
Let me get us back to the.
That looks like a smaller frame. Is that a?
That was a 2331. It'll go all the way up to a 2536.
Okay.
So how it works, and it was, a promo demo, so it was cut through. dip tank, remove the tape, scrape the ink out, dip tank, put your screen in there. It removes all the ink and emulsion. And then when you take it out, spray a little Easy Solve 701 on, scrub it in front and back, put it back in. At that time, you're putting another one in the dip tank. You can do 20 an hour.
Right. Good.
And just bring it out, let it dry, and it's done. And it's under $20,000. No, not at all. Not at all. The guidelines that was holding the screen in. So not at all. We have not had a problem with that. That's a great comment, Sean. So, for under 20,000, it's, there's other ones where, you dip it, you put it in a conveyor, it spits water. I'm not going to say the manufacturer and stuff, but this is in a box. Your wastewater goes down. It's no different than if you're reclaiming in a washout too, except now it's filtered and stuff and down into the drain.
Yeah, good.
But it's that step. I'm not doing it manually before I need an auto reclaim.
And what was the price again, Alan?
List price, I believe, is $18,600. I might be wrong. Let's just say under 20.
Well, that's really affordable.
Extremely affordable.
Yeah.
So yeah, contact GSG. Go see it at ISS Fort Worth, and if it's a fit for you, it's a fit. But yeah,
good.
I don't talk about the products. I let GSG do that, but I thought I'm gonna,
Well, it's okay to toot your horn every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it's good. Right.
So
thanks, and go to GSG and get it. We'll love to see that, and I'm sure they can help you out. So
absolutely.
Do you remember what our next topic is?
No, we have a couple of questions though.
Oh, okay.
It has wastewater, has a filter, 200 micron filter. It goes down, gets all your solids and BODs. Absolutely.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Charles.
Well, you still have to have an employee, but only one. And if you're only doing it like Brian for your size shop, it might be perfect.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because, let's face it, nobody likes doing dishes forever. Right. And
exactly.
It's the worst job in the whole shop is screen reclaiming. And anytime you can get a dishwasher, I think that really helps out.
And it's not about the machine. Anytime you have machinery, we want to just put it in and walk away. No, there's got to be SOPs and process, dude. Then we'll help you set those up. So,
right. Okay.
Anyways, great question. Thank you, guys.
And, all right, cool.
All right. Next topic is, I didn't write it down.
Hey, you want fries with that?
Yep.
So there's all about upselling, right? And
exactly.
So I was talking with somebody the other day and about their sales process, right? And I was talking about, they do some things and whatever. And like, so are you recommending, koozies and tumblers and promo and whatever? And they go, yeah, when we can remember to do it. And I was just thinking, okay, well, how much more money could they be making a year if that was actually embedded in their sales process? And we had a whole conversation about that. So the reason why I want to throw this out here is, is this part of your sales process, right? Is to always let people know and educate them about the other things that you can do. And I think a lot of times, I've had shops and stuff and we would have a customer come through for a tour and they would go, oh, I didn't know you guys did embroidery. We had 160 heads of embroidery. They didn't know that we did that. That's our fault. We didn't do anything to educate the customer on the fact that we could be doing their embroidery. So they sent their embroidery to somewhere else. Right. Yep. And so guess what? That's loss of revenue. And it's completely our fault because we didn't have a process to educate the customers about our capabilities, what we can do, how we can benefit them and solve their problems and all that, right? And so when we're thinking about what we're doing with sales and what we're doing and helping our customers solve their problems and stuff, you educating them on what you can do and the capabilities you have is crucial to adding extra revenue to your business. Yep. Right. And so, Alan, you're in sales. How do you approach the upsell? Right. And without sounding like the used car salesman, hey, would you like the undercoating on that?
Let's
like,
tell you about our warranty, our service plan.
yeah. How do you do it without sounding super cheesy?
I do. I put myself, hey, welcome to Easiway. Have I got a deal for you? No. You know what? One, you got to know your customer on there. And it's just being informative. Let them know. For us, like I said, it's mostly reclaim with us. But you know what the upsell always is? So, you know what? I'm glad you got the dip tank. Here's 701. Love you. Thank you for the order and stuff. What are you using for press wash?
Yeah.
So on press is there, and that's Easy Solve 842. It's not really the upsell. It is an upsell. It's going there. Yeah. Sometimes, I notice, thank you for the order. You're buying 4 gallons at a time. Have you, how much you going through? Well, I order 4 gallons about every 3 weeks. Have you thought maybe ordering it in 5s or multiple 5s?
Yeah.
What about a drum? Well, it's bigger and all that. Yeah, you get a pump system and all that. You know what? I have a client that they're not a large shop. They buy Easy Solve 701 and a drum once a year because they were using over 50 gallons a year. What about that 60? And they go, well, why don't we? Does it go bad? No. They buy it in the drum.
Your cost per gallon drops when you order
incredibly dry. It's stupid.
Plus, you get the freight and all that. There's a lot of and if you're into sustainability, this reduces your carbon footprint. There's just a million reasons why ordering in bulk makes sense. Which is why we have Sam's Club and Costco.
Exactly.
Nobody needs 3 gallons of peanut butter.
the upsell is just letting them know. Yeah, and people forget, you want that shirt order. I'm getting hats. Did you know we do have tumblers? How about who's doing your signage? Well, you do signage.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't know.
They just don't know. So this is a great way of doing this, by the way, is drip marketing. Right.
Absolutely.
So let's just say you did a weekly newsletter, a weekly post, a blog. There's something that you can be doing, and you can have somebody else write all this for you, right? If you want to, right? But anyway, so the idea here is that you are talking about the things that you can offer, and you're educating your customer about what you do and the benefits of it and the things that they probably haven't ever considered, right? And do your customers know that you can create online stores for them? Do they know that you have free delivery? Do they know blah, 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 right?
Yep.
They probably don't know, right? Your job is to educate them. And I would do it long before they ask, right? So right now, your drip marketing should be about holiday. Do you know that you can do fulfillment for all of your customers for holiday gift giving, where you could be sending out the packages and all that type of stuff for your customers? There are a lot of people that I know in this industry who actually make more money on the fulfillment end of things than they do on the actual decoration, right?
Most people do.
And so, are you set up for that? And how come you're not talking about it, right? So this is super important, right?
Another way, and I know drip marketing and all that, Marshall, but a better way. If you have a sales team, there's your competition. What about the upsell on that? Here's our product for the month that we're pushing. How many people? Hey, people, you can say, here's our special. What are you doing for mugs? What are you doing for hats? What are you doing for the upsell on it?
Yeah.
When I worked for a full distributor, upselling there was always, and I'd have on my mind, everybody forgets about the little things. Think, the big 3, when you work for a supplier, like for GSG, their sales guys are going after, forget equipment. That's big stuff. And supplies is where your bread and butter is. And the big 3 are ink, emulsion, chemical. We love the chemical part at Easiway with GSG. But you know what? There's sales guys, if they're a good salesperson, are going to go, are you buying blackout? How about squeegees? How about scoops? We have cleanup cards that, and you just have to act.
Okay, Easiway hand cleaner. Do you guys know that Easiway makes hand cleaner?
Well, we don't.
Well, you sell hand cleaner or whatever.
No, we don't.
I thought you did.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. Well, ignore my comment.
You know what? Do you need scrub pads? We have those.
Oh, I thought you guys had a hand cleaner for some
No.
reason. All right. Anyway,
But it is that stuff on upsells, like,
Right.
and you could do it. You know, a promotional T-shirt. You know, a different this. What are you doing on there? You know, even if it's something you're farming out. You know, do you need? You know, are you doing a live event? Do you have DTF transfers? You can order that from someone.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we got some comments. So Sean says, I love screen reclaiming. It's very zen with earplugs in.
you know what's even more zen, Sean? Making money and less labor cost. That's more zen. Try that. No, I'm kidding. There was the sell. There was the hard sell right there, Sean.
Yeah, Mark says, I believe that unit's going to be in the apps lab after the show. That's great.
I'm almost 100% or 90% sure it is, Mark. I didn't want to say that in case you didn't want anybody to know. But
Yeah.
yes, I do believe that is the plan.
And Gosta says he does mock-ups and other things I have in stock at the moment at the same time.
Absolutely. Perfect.
And excuse his spelling because he's this English is not his first language, so he's doing great.
Yeah.
Brian says,
Ghost speaks a couple languages aside from Swedish and English. I think a couple more. So
so Brian says McDonald's says they add $2.9 million per location by asking that question.
And they don't
I
ask
didn't
that
know
question anymore. You know
How
what they ask now?
I don't know. I don't eat at McDonald's ever.
Well, you got any? Would you like that? Would you like that to go large? Yes, I will take large.
Yeah.
Nobody ever asked the price on it. What's the up cost on it? Nobody ever asked.
Right. How come we don't do that?
We're poor salesmen.
How would you? Okay, so let's just take that thread. Okay, how would you ask to upsize your order?
Do you know your cost per shirt goes down if you order 48 instead of 24?
What if we named the upsize? Right. So let's say you're selling 36 pieces. What if you just said, "Hey, would you like to upsize that to the would you like to value size your order
to 48, and that includes
to 144? Would you like
and that includes
would you like to value size your order? You're going to be ordering this another 2 times this year, right? Okay, what if we value size your order 144 and we'll throw in free art and screens and delivery?
Well, don't say throw in, because that includes this.
That includes this. There you go. Right.
That includes, and that also includes a dozen embroidered hats or whatever. Yeah. Or no screen prep and
that's
so
right.
It includes. Absolutely.
Okay. So Brian, here's how you can add $2.9 million to your location this year by asking that question.
Yep. And there's your competition with the other sales team.
Yeah, right. I love it. All right. So Sean says the more comfortable you are at promo products and understanding how orders work and the expectations and delivery you can sell it alongside with apparel decoration, the sale becomes conversational at that point.
Absolutely.
And not salesy. That's good. T-shirt Royale.
T-shirt Royale, because what do they call the quarter pounder with cheese in England?
No, it was in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And that
Royale with cheese.
The Royale with cheese.
I like value sized, right? And
thank you, Vincent Vega, for
ridiculous to blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
cool. All right. Good stuff. Hey, we got one
awesome
topic.
Love these conversations.
And I want to talk about being grounded by family, right? And the reason I want to say this is because everybody that's on the show right now and other people who aren't, we're extremely busy people, right? And we're always working. And let me tell you, you guys that are your entrepreneurs, your business owners, you left a 40-hour work week job so you can work 100 hours for yourself, right? Yep. That's so true with everything. And I think one thing that sometimes we forget is to be grounded by family, right? And family is the most important. I know my family is really important to me. I know you took time off last week to be with your family.
Yep.
On Tuesday, I did some family stuff. We moved my kid to college, right? So you have to be there. You have to be present to win. and saying, hey, I wish I did that. I wish I could go to the reunion, or I wish I could be there for my kid, right? Wishes aren't anything. It's the actions that show that you care. You have to show up. You have to be there. You have to take time off. Labor Day is next week. Are you working over that weekend? Or are you taking time off to hang out with your family, right?
Yep.
It's really super important to be doing that. And I don't want you to lose sight of it. It's really important, right? So, I know you, Alan, but I'm going to ask anyway, how important is family to you, and where do you rank it up with like your job and stuff?
Every year it gets more and more important. When I was younger, I didn't leave Michigan. I fled Michigan. I left at age 18 there in 1985, March of 85. I did not move back till April or May of 2014. And I returned very little on there. We all have our, say, demons or whatever growing up. But the older I've gotten, and when I moved back, it was for one reason. I could do my job anywhere, because I realized how lucky I was at a friend's funeral. His father passed away. I'm going, you selfish bastard, Alan. I had all four of my parents, mom, stepdad, dad, stepmom, still alive. I had my brother's younger than me, just moved back to Michigan. I'm going, why would you leave Bradenton, Florida, to go in the snow? Some people like that. And Dan's it's way smarter than I am. He's intelligent. He's Sheldon Cooper. I love him. We have so much fun together, but he's an idiot. He loves winter. But you know what? You lose a parent, they're getting older, and how much more that time is. So my time was actually a little sister's getaway. My aunt and uncles, my mom is the oldest of four sisters. There's one deceased that right below my mom, and the two youngest ones. And the youngest ones are only 10 and 7 years older than me. I'm the oldest of that next generation, so I'm closer to their age. They invited me down, and I loved it. I saw my mom last year. My stepdad's pushing 80. I don't see my other aunt and uncle. I had dinner with them in St. Louis, but it was a time to rest, to recharge, to share, and just get advice from people who love you more than you realize and have always been there.
Right.
And badly needed. Luckily, I work for a company. I don't, at Easiway, I don't have to say, I just said, hey, I'm going down to Florida for a couple of days. Perfect. Alex is great. That's awesome, Alan.
Yeah. And I think it's really important that family is so important. And Alan, by the way, he showed his nephew here earlier, but he is stepping up for that young man. And I'm so proud of you, Alan, for doing that, and taking him into your home. That's a big step for both Miguel and you.
Yeah.
And, it's an awesome thing. And it just shows, to me, it just shows your character and all that. So it's a good thing. So.
You learn stuff about yourself that I'm talking like it's from you. And, I'm down there, and Miguel texted me with something when I'm in Florida, and he was by himself, but he was fine. I was more worried than he is. My mom and aunt were teaching me, go, you're like the new parent. I go, the baby's fine in the crib. But I didn't overdo it. They said, "Have you talked to Miguel?" I go, a few hours ago. It's for only time. He texted me on something. He had to go somewhere, like he's working today, and said, "Hey, Scott wants me to work. I want to make sure it's all right." Yeah, he could have just went and not told me. I wouldn't have known. But I appreciate that. And there's adjustments. When people ask Miguel, "How are you doing? How's it going, Alan?" Well. And he'll be there with me going, I haven't woken up with him over me with a pillow about ready to put it on my face yet. I said, and him going, oh, wait, I'm sleepwalking. Yeah, that's it, sleepwalking. Mm-hmm. You know what? It's adjustment for both. It's more on my side, but, I have great friends. Marshall, believe me, I've called Marshall. What am I doing? What do I do? I've gotten advice from everybody on it. And, and best was Marshall, I think you said, we have a tendency in our business that we know how to do things. This is how it is. And when it comes, Marshall, with Jack and all that, it's like, okay, am I going to major on minor crap? That really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And, I've had to walk back stuff saying, no, I don't want you to do that. And then 30 minutes later, walk back and go, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, but it is. And it's all, and when I'm with my family, I give business stuff. I don't own a business. Marshall's the business guy. But, when we talked about, during COVID, I still use it. When we were in the bottom of the trough, sales are gone. What happens? Well, there's opportunity at the bottom of the trough when stuff comes back up. And, we talked about that, where for people, for resources, for customers. And are you ready for those preparing for disaster, Marshall? Because you came up with that book there.
Yeah, well, I lost all my clients, and what am I going to do all day? So I wrote a book, right?
And you know what? Where do I, and I'm going, we have this podcast we're going to still be doing. What do we talk about? And I called my uncle, who was down there, Pat Culpepper, who, again, you want to look up progressive foam. If you've seen insulated siding, he invented it. Stayed at my house, him and my aunt and their 3 little kids in my house. My first house I bought, I slept on the couch for 8 months. Why? That's what we do as family.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that company's worth now. He's retired. My company's there, but he's been through it. So if you hear me spouting stuff that doesn't sound like it's from Marshall, that's where I'm getting it from. You know what? You hang out from people who know more than you.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Patrick, you are coming on the podcast one day. He goes,
we should have him. Yeah. All right. Hey, let's wrap it up here. So a couple of things.
Family. Hey, you know what? I want to add too, Marshall, too. You might not have a family like that, but a family can be that close knit of friends. Who can you be honest with? Who is going to be honest with you and still love that? So just do that. Take time, recharge.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So Ghost has a comment here, which I thought was great. It says, we talk about individual pack, naming labels on the site event delivery. They don't ask for price anymore. These are things I learned from your show and guests. So thank you, Ghost. That's a really great compliment. And I love the fact that you're taking action. Action is where it's at, man. So good job.
And, that is part of, I've talked about, I know on Shirt Lab, I did a video you wanted me to do on closing and stuff. You were interviewing me. And I said, and we've talked about here, I really don't have a close, because if I do my job right of developing the pain points, of seeing where it is, having the solutions, it should pretty much sell. You just need to ask for the order.
Yeah.
Right. And that is a system that when I worked for my uncle, he said, we're going to go to do a 5-week sales training. And I fought him tooth and nail of going, I've been to so many of these guys that are old sales guys, and it's horrible. And I still use the stuff today. And he looked at me and was just smiling. I go, okay, yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I go, thank you. But yeah, we were talking, our trainer, his name was Stan Scully. And I called him the Screaming Skull always. And we go, well, I wonder what happened to him. But yeah. So.
Right. Hey, one last thing for everyone goes. Alan has a free Printing United Expo pass.
Yeah.
Which is hold on.
Easiway does.
You got to add to the thing, right? So here's a QR code. Just click this link. The coupon code is 4402. If you want to go to Printing United in Atlanta for free, just scan this with your phone right now. We'll leave it up for a second, and the code is 4402. And I thought this was a little easier than typing a big gobbledygook of website letters. So so anyway, this is from Easiway, so be sure to thank them. And
you know what? And you know what, Marshall, you're going to be there. I'm going to be there. GSG is going to have a huge island, going to be there. Come on down, scan the code, even if you're not sure you're going to be there. Get your free entrance. And if it can help, Ghost, are you coming over for it? I think you should.
Yeah, I'm on a panel discussion on pricing.
Yep. You know, we've had Cassie Green on here from the Apparelist. She's going to be there. The Apparel Zone's going to be there. They're really trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would love to see it's in Atlanta. You know, for the east side of the country, not a better place to fly into. Everybody flies in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, Atlanta is easy to get to. You know, and you know, it's a good city. There's lots to do, and so anyway, so we'll see you guys.
Oh, hold on, Marshall. We need to say one other thing. Our sponsor, and only because it's been public on Facebook, the owner of GSG, Mark Granberry, had bypass surgery emergency this week. He's doing great. Mark, we're praying for you and Charlotte and the family. Hey, we appreciate you, and hang in there, man. I'm glad everything's going good. Him and his wife were just in Alaska on vacation, and she's saying, thanking God of just how much, 36 hours before they were in Alaska.
Yeah, that
could have happened there. So,
right. Well, get better soon, Mark. We love you and appreciate you. And, it's this type of thing can happen. And we're so glad that you're in good hands. And we love the Facebook posts that show the progress and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And not just because he's our sponsor, but you know what?
He's such a nice man.
Just a great guy. And, when we've had podcast failures live, I had to go face, Marshall was teaching. I had to go face Mr. Granberry. And it is Mr. Granberry there. Yeah. And you know what? He was understandable. What are we going to do to fix it? Very much on there, making sure the product is good. We had a solution. He goes, okay, let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Yes, sir, we're on it. And been good. But what a great guy, because they do a lot. And when you get to know them, I don't think people know, and I'm not going to toot the horn. They have things that they post of what they're doing for giveaways and helping community and things. But I think Mark Granberry does more community-wise than people will ever know.
Yeah.
So him and Charlotte, hang in there. We're praying for you.
All right. Well, hey, everyone have a great weekend and stay safe, and we'll see you next week. We should do something special for Labor Day. What should we do, Alan?
I don't know.
I don't know. So we'll give it some thought, and we'll come back next week and see what kind of crazy.
It's Labor Day. We're not having a show there. We're taking the time off. No, we're not going to do that.
No, we're gonna have something. So
absolutely.
All right, everyone. Take care. We'll
have a great weekend.
All right. Bye.